think it can complement or not enhance what stories you have originally, because I believe when people think, they think in pictures and not in words. And if you're able to replicate what they have in the mind with very little data loss, as in we transcribe it into a textual medium, maybe the comic itself could be a more richer, more faithful representation of what the story writer had in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen those sort of illustrated versions of classics, and most of them really suck, because that's what they are. They're just trying to bring good literature, sort of translate it very crudely into comic book form, and it just doesn't work. But I think where it does work is where it's just a totally different story, but inspired by something that has already been published in another medium. I mean, in all culture is recycled. I mean, there are no new stories. Even the things that we think of as great classic stories are often recycled from older myths, from the Bible, from religious tales and so on. So there's nothing new in the world. But and the same goes for even what we consider original comic books, actually playing with very familiar narrative themes and so on. So I think there's no one answer. It does boil down to quality in the end. Is it a very crude attempt to just take a very solid piece of work and turn it into pictures and text, which I think usually fails? Or is it done by an artist and writer with their own vision, but just taking inspiration from something that's been published before?
On the other hand, where I see comics can complement classics is that comics could be a quick and dirty way for people to get into the story, because it's concise, it's short, it's visually entertaining, and then once they get hooked to the main idea of this narrative, perhaps that will guide them to read the original text itself. So I think it doesn't do injustice to the original classic, but it could be a good way to get more people to read the original works themselves.
You have some slide showing some of the better quality graphic novels. Here's the famous one by Art Spiegelman. It tells you the tale of the Holocaust, but the characters are mice. It is another. It is inspired by a true story about during the Iran-Iraq War, about this lady trying to preserve books. Of course, this famous Palestine by Joe Sacco. It's not politically, saying about who's right, who's wrong, but just saying about the portrayal of the, what's happening there. Okay, to end this discussion, we have this very compelling anecdote from our Desmond Tutu. So any last words?
I think my case, my wish for local comic creators here is to hopefully they can rediscover the rich cultural heritage we have in maritime Southeast Asia. You can read about stories about the lost Aztec civilization, the pharaohs and all that. But honestly, just look around us. I mean, we have a rich legacy. We've got the Srivijaya Empire, Majapahit, and there are a lot of stories that happened back then which we don't very little about, like iconography. So I hope local comic creators can include these elements in the story and rediscover what we have lost through the passage of time. Thank you.
Okay, our last segment will be what's in store for the next MIV. Will be the